Yo, what's up guys, my name is Crackle and I'm back again with another sample. And before I begin breaking down the sample, please don't forget that my sample pack Food for the Soul Volume 1 is out now. The link will be in the description of this video if you want to download the pack. And with that said, for this sample I started with two pianos. And the first piano is Soft Piano from Spitfire Labs. I then added a K2 Dreamy from Piano Tech, and this is how the piano sounds like. So with this piano I was trying to go for that cinematic ambience vibe. So I didn't really want something soulful, but I wanted something cinematic. I then added a solo cello from SRX Orchestra. I also added a sonatina pizzicato strings. I also added another cello, which is a sustain, this one, and it's from Sonatina Orchestra as well. And all three combined, this is how they sound like. And for the volume I used the automation to make them rise from like the bottom to the top of the sample, if that makes sense. I then added another sound which is called an Erhu String. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it sounds like this. So it gave me that vibe of like it was played, not played, but like, how can I put it? This particular violin or whatever it is, it made me feel like I was playing it live, so that's why I added it in the sample, even though it was a VST, and the name of the VST is called Erhu, if I'm not mistaken. After that I added my vocals, which I stacked. I recorded about 6 layers, and these 6 layers sound like this. And so I pushed these vocals to the back of the sample. So when I play the final sample, you will actually hear that you don't really hear me singing in the sample, because I didn't want them to be upfront in your face like that. I wanted them to serve as something that will fill the entire frequency spectrum. So that's why I added the vocals and I put them to the back. I then added a VCS legato string from SRX Orchestra, which I also added volume automation, and it sounds like this. I then added a big Marcato string from SRX Orchestra. I also added a massive pad from X-Band, and this is how they sound like. So this pad also served as sort of like a riser, so that's why I chose it also. I liked it because it sounded like a riser and it was adding a sort of a texture in the sample. I then added a choir from Sonatina, as well as a choir from X Band, and this is how they sound like. I then took the same two choirs, consolidated them, and I pitched them higher to make them sound like a higher string layer in the sample. And it sounds weird on its own, but in the sample it added another beautiful texture. But let me play it for you. It sounds like this. So on its own it sounds like there's someone screaming, but it's those two choirs pitched very high. I then added a vinyl crackle, and it sounds like this. And for the effects, for the choir I added Valhalla Room to obviously make it sound like it was recorded in I recorded like the choir in a real room instead of using a VST. I then added a chorus to make the choir wider. I also added a fruity delay to obviously add delay. And for the piano, I added an EQ. I then took it to a bass channel where I added AB Road plates to add reverb to the piano to also make it sound like it was played in real time. And for the cello, I added Valhalla space modulator to add a sort of texture instead of leaving it dry. And for that vocal which I played, which was higher, I added a tremolator to add a form of movement in that vocal. And then for most of the sounds, I just took care of the low end. The master channel, I added a little radiator to add a little bit of warmth to the sample. I then added EQ again to shape the sound. And with that said, let me play you the final sample, and the final sample sounds like this. And that's the final sample. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it very interesting. And with that said, my sample pack is out. The link will be in the description of this video. The name of the pack is Food for the Soul Volume 1. And thank you again for your support. I'll see you again 2 weeks from now.